name's Galena. I'm the fiancé of Joshua Lee McCollister, who was murdered on July 8th by Deunn Willis and robbed by Danielle Durand. I got slut-shamed really badly when I was with Josh. Like, I didn't anticipate just how badly I was going to get slut-shamed, because he was the second person I'd consensually been with in my life. I just did not see that coming. There was somebody that I was friends with for a long time, and not to slut shame them, but their number of partners is probably in the triple digits. And they called me being with Josh, quote, vile. And, it hurts when people are treating you like that. They assumed that, and they made innuendo that Josh and I were doing all these things together for like the whole time he was there, and no. Josh and I declared our feelings for each other on January 22nd. He proposed on January 22nd. Brought me a ring on January 23rd. And he didn't want to hide the fact that he loves me. He didn't want me to have to hide it. He said, we're gonna tell people. And I was terrified. I was so scared. Our first kiss, it was like something out of a fairy tale. I knew when he kissed me, I didn't ever want to kiss any other lips for the rest of my life. These were the lips I wanted for the next 50 years. This was my soulmate right here. But I also knew someone was going to die. I felt it with every fiber in my being. Someone was going to get killed with this. It hurts so much to think of how perfect that kiss was, how perfect us being together was. To know that even at that moment, someone was going to die over it. That I wouldn't just be allowed to leave. That's part of why I just threw myself into it so hard, is because I knew all I had to do was kiss him, and probably I was going to get killed for it. So I might as well just go all in. So it was January 25th that Josh tried to get me out. He tried to save me. He tried to rescue me. He had another man-to-man talk with the instigator, and he told him in no uncertain terms, you can't do this to her. This all has to end. You have to let her go. And I was terrified, and he told me, you've got to call Project Sanctuary, maybe they can do something, but Project Sanctuary was already closed for the day. He said, you have to go to a motel, take the kids to a motel, I'll help you get them to a motel, and I didn't have the money. When you're a double autism parent, it's not just like you can walk your kids down the street. I was trapped I just had to wait for whatever happened. Josh had another talk with the instigator that night, except this one was different. He had a video going with Skype. I knew the instigator told people bad things about me for years. I felt it. I could see it in people's eyes. This is the first time I actually got to watch it, though, because the instigator didn't know the computer was on when Josh was having this talk with him, saying all these bad things. Oh my God, the amount of lies he said. Like, he said 3 major lies about me in less than 5 minutes, and it was like any kind of sympathy, any kind of loyalty I might have still had, just died right there. You know, it's embarrassing to talk about this. It's so embarrassing. Instigator had been telling me and Josh all that year that we needed to go have sex. We never did. It was mortifying. Like, from the time Josh got to Fort Bragg, Instigator was taking him to the side and saying, you should go have sex with her. As long as it's consensual, you need to go have sex with her. And he was taking me to the side and saying, hey, you should go have sex with him. As long as it's consensual, it's all great. I'm not that kind of person. It was so humiliating. It was humiliating for both of us, and it made it like something, like our friendship was like sleazy, and it wasn't. That was my best friend. I was his best friend. And this third party is like trying to make it gross. He loved me and I loved him. Anything that was going on between us, that was private. That was our business, not his. So it was January 25th that Instigator really got it through his head. I was gonna break free. I was gonna get out, and Josh was gonna make sure that I got out. He was gonna protect me. He was gonna save me. Instigator broke 5 of Josh's ribs that night. And he disfigured his face. And he tried to take Josh's eye out. It happened with me in the next room. See, Josh had been stabbed in the face. They had stitched him up at the hospital. And they stitched him up really well. Instigator punched him where he'd been stabbed, so it opened up. And it never healed properly. I thought that with that level of violence, I'd have to get away, right? Like, he wasn't gonna get away with this. Doing this to someone. But here's where the enabler comes in again. Instigator told everybody, no, Josh doesn't have broken ribs. It's just all a lie. Josh is lying, Galena's lying, he doesn't have broken ribs. And the enabler backed him up. She used her influence, she used her powers, everything she had at her fingertips. She backed him up that this hadn't happened. But it did. I mean, Josh had hospital records. He had 5 broken ribs, disfigured, almost lost an eye. You have no idea what it's like to watch the person you love be physically destroyed like that because they're trying to help you, because they're trying to save you. Josh told him, you've got to let her go. And if it had just been the instigator, I would have been able to go. I would have been able to get out. The enabler's the one who made sure that he got away with it, though. And I knew when she did that, when she used her influence, her money, definitely her money she was using on this, I was never gonna get out. If I tried, I was gonna be held in place. Five broken ribs, and the instigator originally, when he was dying tonight, that didn't happen. I said, I saw the hospital records. I'd been on the phone to help advocate with doctors. Yes, you did break 5 of his ribs. And I heard you trying to take his eye out. I heard the dialogue of you trying to take his eye out. And I heard him again and again telling you, just go, just leave. Leave her alone. When he was pinned, when he was caught, when he couldn't argue his way out of whether or not he broke Josh's ribs, when Josh was trying to protect me, what he did then was he laughed about it. He laughed. Because Josh had had his ribs broken so many times before. And and this is one of the reasons that Josh and the instigator stopped being friends. Because Josh had this horrific, horrible backstory. That he had been grotesquely abused as a child, beaten so badly long term. Like, he had the worst stories of anyone I ever heard, what that man did to him, what that monster did to him. And his ribs had been broken repeatedly by that man when he was a kid. And so the instigator laughed about breaking Josh's ribs now, that, well, Josh's ribs are just easy to break because of this horrific abuse he endured as a child. Like, he actually thought it was funny. I'm so tired of being afraid every day. Of being afraid every time I leave the building where I live. And I think about the long run. Josh had a phrase, I see the blueprints. To him, that meant when somebody was going to die, he could see how you got to that spot. And I think about January 25th, where we were engaged and we were going to be happy. But even on January 25th, he acknowledged how afraid he was. This is before his ribs were broken. He knew that the instigator was going to try and kill us. That I didn't think that he would actually say it, because he was so determined to never scare me, to not let me hear about the bad things in life. I knew when we kissed each other the first time, on January 22nd, the instigator was going to kill me. Here it was on January 25th, Josh even acknowledging that he knew that the instigator was going to kill us for this. That our lives were actually in danger, and that he was going to throw everything in the world at us until one or both of us were dead. And Josh is dead. And I'm just sitting here every day thinking, finish the mission, finish the mission, finish the mission, because that's what Josh wanted so badly, was our mission to be finished. For the bodies to get found. For the families to have their daughters back. I'm not afraid of dying, I'm really not. I'm just so petrified that the mission won't get finished. Because the one person who really was dedicated, so determined to ensure that I could stay safe so the mission could get finished, they're gone. And they were murdered. They were murdered because they were put in a bad position by all these people who were revved up by the instigator. That he had to get attacked and attacked and attacked in Mendocino County because he was going to murder the instigator if he wasn't attacked. And the ridiculous thing is that after Josh's ribs were broken, after the instigator did that to him, after the instigator tried to take his eye out and disfigured his face, and after we told people again and again and again this happened, people still took the instigator's word because he was a local and Josh wasn't. They believed him, not Josh, and not me. But Josh had hospital records. That's the thing about all this in the end, you know. Josh had proof that he was telling the truth. I had proof that I was telling the truth. And we could have stood up to the instigator. We could have. We could not stand up to this other person with the influence, though. And in the long run, I think that she's just gonna get her way. That precious thing that she wanted, she's probably gonna get it. She pretends to be a godly woman. Goes to church, and I think, was God happy with you when you backed up someone that broke 5 ribs, disfigured someone, tried to take their eye out? Was God happy with you on that day? You think you're gonna go into a beautiful celestial place when you die? No, you won't. You're gonna be held accountable by God for what you did here on earth. Because that was evil. That was just patently, horrifically evil. It's evil that you are still helping this person. That I am afraid every time I leave my house. Hell, I can't even eat during the day. My anxiety is so bad. My blood sugar crashes at night because during the day I can't eat. You did this to me, enabler, you know who you are, and so many other people know who you are too. There's going to be accountability in this life and in the next for the violence that you made sure happened to him, the violence you made sure led him to his death, put him on the road to his death is the phrase his mother uses. And more likely than not, put me on the road to mine. He didn't deserve violence for trying to save a woman. He didn't deserve it at all. Ugh.